Okay, people, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning here, going on September 13th. Obviously, I'm still moving around, right? I did those grape leaf rolls, and I'm sweeping my floor, and I'm trying to clear off my table, right? Oh, there goes that camera. So anyway, this is what's in here right now. I just want to see myself too, right? I don't know. There we go. Oh well. Welcome to my world. Anyway, as you can see, let's give the camera a minute to adjust. Right. I'm just putting stuff away now. Trying to anyway, right? We got blackberry jam down in there. Blackberry sauce. We've got pears. This is the new ones. Right, we've got the applesauce over there. New jar, you can see it. Right, pears. There's that ginger I canned. Still there. And then we've got different jams up in here. We've got blackberry jam, plum jam, blueberry jam, raspberry jam, strawberry jam. Oops, sorry. That's all jam in there. Okay, hold on. And then in here, you can see nice and bright. This is all my dehydrated food. Only the top half of the shelf, maybe 2/3 of the top half. Only the top 2/3 of this shelf are these types of jars. My raspberries are in there. Obviously, those are chili peppers of some kind. We've got red peppers. I don't know what. There's other stuff in there as well, right? Hold on. Okay, so we know if this screen flips, what happens, right? And then in here, you can see there's those butters down. Oh, hold on. Down in there, the apple butter, the plum butter. There's some more jam. I bought that jam last year, and then I don't know what's in there, but something. And then we've got the tomatoes I canned last year, which is good because no tomatoes grew for me this year, right? I started mine by seed, and it just got into the ground too late. And then we've got the canned tomatoes, the green canned tomatoes from last year, so that's good. Now I'm putting in the plum marmalade. We got some beans. Oh, sorry, people. We got some beans in there. And we got this tomato sauce that I made when Uncle John was around, right? And then the rhubarb is in there, and then way in the back is salmon. This one here is a full shelf. I should really probably get myself a 2x4 and just run it along the wall here, like along the edge of the bookshelf, because this one here is just full of jars. I don't know if you can see that. It goes all the way back. This is one heavy shelf right here. And we got pickles, and we got lots of beans this year. There's an old can of tomatoes kicking around still, which is good for me. And then it's all the new pears. The new pears, or the older pears. These are the older pears back there. So get these ones first before the other ones. Then when we get into here, we've got, obviously there's some salmon in the back. And then I've got my juices. I've got the apple juice, the plum juice, that type of thing. Blackberry juice. 1 can of beans. Well, they're not canned, but jar. It's a big one. That's for dinner when everybody's around, right? And I want to feed them. And then a couple of more jam. And then those little plums back there, I did them, or sorry, pears, right there. I did those last year. They're good for yogurt. There's my canned salmon. I brought up some of it, right? Locked up the rest. And pickles, pickle beans. Oh, there goes the screen. There we go. There's some sardines, tuna, sardines. More juice. You can see lots of fish back there. Andre likes salmon, so that's good. I've been feeding him a fair amount of salmon. Tuna's back there, and then the top shelf is tomatoes and a few canned goods and miscellaneous stuff, right? So yeah, that's just the stuff that I've kind of been doing. Okay, so today is now what, September 13th, 2016, and almost 2:30 in the afternoon here. Andre and I are going to go outside and start working on these cat houses, these little, you know, those little cat houses with the carpet and stuff. Because one, I have to clean out the hen house area to turn it into a greenhouse. And I got to move this wood along. I want to use the paint. Remember I said I wanted to paint the hen house again, right? So because I'm not putting alcohol in with it, I'm going to go look through my old paints. Probably mix it in with an old brown that's just a little bit left in the can, you know, just to give it that ability to set maybe a little more. Anyway, we're going to do a little science experiment here. First of all, I want to I'm curious to know how many people have come across in their lifetime, people, how many on average have come across an actual black walnut tree? Because personally, I find them to be quite rare. I'm 54 years old. I can never remember ever coming across a black walnut tree. This is the first time. I'm on the British Columbia west coast of Canada, so I don't know how common they are. I'm sure they were much more common back in the day, but as civilization moved in, right, the trees got chopped down. So there's another one that I can't think of the name right now that's very, very common. It's not something that you would like to eat. It's edible, but it's not like this kind, right? Obviously, the English walnut produces more fruit for whatever reason. That's what I've noticed between the two trees. And their husks react differently to the air. Now, here's the science experiment that we're going to do. I'm going to cut these tonight, and I'm going to cut those tonight. And I'm just going to dehydrate the green part for the most part. I'm not going to dehydrate that, but I'm going to just take the green husk for the most part, and I'm going to dehydrate them separately, and then I'm going to grind them up separately. I'm going to put them in little bottles separately, and then we're going to see after the fact, at some point in the future, you know, sprinkle some out. This is what I've got so far with the first batch. This should just sprinkle out. Look at that. See how nice that sprinkled out? And then you take your paintbrush and you, right, and you go paint. Okay? But we're going to see if we get the same kind of reaction between the two rinds. I'm not boiling. I don't want any more of that. I would rather it in dehydrated form at this point. That's plenty. Plus, I was doing this. The dust. I'm going to save probably a quart or two, at least a quart anyway, maybe two or a quart and a half or something of the paint that I made outside the stain, and I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol in with it. I actually still might have some from back in the day when I did it before without any alcohol in it. But what I had done is I had a whole bunch of them in big jars, like big jars, nice fruit jars, right? Candy jars. And I had them out on the porch, and they froze over the winter, and several of them cracked. So when I went into the X Club there, and I had walnut ink all over the place on the ground, right? I don't know if one jar survived or not, but we'll look around and we'll see if we can find it. So in the meantime, I'm going to take some of that paint that Andre and I just made, and I'm going to put some in a quart-sized jar, because I really do like this. Now, I just did this quickly. It should have been sanded down before I stuck it into the pot, right? But I'm just like really, really pleased with this. So Andre and I, we need to sand it down a bit. And of course, once you sand it, you're going to take off some of this stain, right? So I'm going to need, you know, I'm going to need some to repaint it over. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to save myself a quart, right, of ink, or not ink, paint. So that after we sand this down and we just want to give it another coat, right, then we have that versus having to use this, right? Or you could sprinkle that onto that that hasn't been stained, and take a brush and just do your little feather look on it to get, like, you know, whatever. I mean, there's lots of things you can do. I will bring out another piece of wood that you can see the contrast on this. Yes, okay, we're not talking about that, Andre. So in the meantime, that's going to be our science experiment. But we're going to go outside. I really got to get up onto the pond. I got to drain it. It's like... But that's a big job because I'm going to take out the rocks and I'm going to level the pond because it's crooked right now, right? And I'm going to get rid of those little pockets. And I really just don't feel like dealing with that today. So I think I'm just going to pull out the skill saws and jigsaws and all that other crap and just start working on some cat houses, and so I can move on with... I have some old carpet I need to lay down up into the greenhouse area there. Well, hen house, turning into a greenhouse. My kids want me to clear out the garage. Let's clear out the old carpet. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm making cat houses, and, you know, I can put it on the bottom of the ground, right, to prevent weeds from growing, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I used to have a whole bunch of these. Every now and then I get someone that creeps my yard. I don't know. It's been like that ever since I moved in. You know, it's somebody that lives in this neighborhood. It's not a homeless person. It's an actual person that lives somewhere close by or whatever, right? Anyway, I'm not saying that they took my little pieces of wood, but I can't seem to find them anywhere. I found my coconut shells, and these pieces of wood should have been with the coconut shells, and they're not. So that kind of makes me wonder if somebody took them. So while I'm out there, I'm going to make a few more of these because I have plans for these too, right? Okay, so now we're in the hen house area. It's 3 o'clock. So it's getting, like, it's cooling down already. I can feel it. So I have to do something, right? I got to liquidate on this wood, right? So I'm going to just start using it up, starting today. I'm going to make some cat houses here, right? And as we're doing that, I need to kind of gut this out as fast as I can and use that paint that I just made. Right, so I'm gonna gut this out as I'm looking for wood for the cat houses, because otherwise there's no preservative in that, and it's open to the air, and because it's open, it's in the pot, open to the air. It doesn't even have a lid on it right now. Within a couple of days, you're gonna start getting a surface mold on it, right? That's what black walnut does.
Yeah, look at that diary.
So I'm just gonna we're gonna clear out this, and then I unfortunately have raccoon poo underneath this.
Where?
I don't know why raccoons have. Ever since I moved in, people, I'm telling you, ever since I moved in.
I don't see raccoon poo.
Oh, it's there. Don't, just get away from it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, I know. So Nana's going to have to pull that out before I kind of spray that down. Start pulling it out. And, I mean, obviously I'm going to have to fence this all off where they can't get in once it's an actual greenhouse, right? Because that's why I built that greenhouse, was to prevent the raccoons from pooing over there when that was a big mound of weeds. Right, I mean, they were doing that before I moved in. I just think the people who lived here before never did any yard work, and that's why it just got out of control. And those raccoons were just conditioned because they've gone from the tree, from over there to over there. They've been over there before. Then I built that, and then they went underneath in there. Sometimes they go in the front. I think they just kind of migrate to somebody that can clean up after them. Because in that way, they're kind of domesticated. They like their little latrine like a cat, like a litter box. They just need someone to clean up after them, right? So, I mean, like, what you gonna do, right? You know, build fences. They used to do it in here. But now I've got raspberry bushes, and they've been pretty good about not coming back. This is a hot spot, right? I managed to get rid of them last year, and so I'm going to put something here, and hopefully they won't come back.
And don't
this is why I
carrots.
put this stuff down, so they don't come in here and do it in here,
and
right?
there are the carrots.
Mm-hmm. Right, because, you know, they don't like pokely things, right? You know, so it's just, I'm always...
And you tape out those carrots.
Yeah, lots of carrots. Okay, hold on.
Okay, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
This pumpkin squish.
Yeah, it's squishing itself here, people.
Yeah.
Look what it's done. I haven't been out here, but it's just like going mad, right? And look what's growing. Finally they're growing something. Where is the one that I just seen? Look, it's got all kinds of little buds in here, but nowhere for the fruit to grow because it's growing between the plants. So maybe we should try and pull this out, right?
And,
oops, there goes the screen.
And they're there.
There is one, but there's just not enough room for it. Where is it? I just seen it, Andre. There it is. You can see one little one. Where is it? Oh, my eyes are so bad. There, you can see it. You can see it behind the stem there.
Where? Oh, now I see it.
Okay, people. We haven't been in this room for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And whose room is this?
A cat house.
Yeah, Mr. Lace's cat
And there's
house.
Sparky.
Mr. Lace's cat house. This is what this is.
And
So I wanted to point
out.
out, people, if you provide a litter box for the cats outside, they will use it.
Uh-huh. And they poo in
But
it.
you know, you need resources to be able to keep up with the litter all the time, right? So anyway, we're gonna work on this, Andre and I. You say they escaped from in here?
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna make that so that they can't escape. And we're gonna try and attempt to make something like this, so we can put some on the porch. Right? I don't know what's in here. Probably empty, just a tarp. Yeah. So anyway,
Let's see, tarp. And videotape out Sparky.
it's still a nice room.
It's videotape out Sparky.
That's okay.
Sparky's right here.
I think the camera went out. Just hold on. No. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so this cat house, people, I'm telling you, I've had like forever. When I'm pausing, it's because I'm trying to get the picture back because I'm not sure if it's videotaping or not. But anyway, this thing has been like kicking around for years. I've washed it several times. It sat out, whatever, and it's still holding its shape. Like seriously.
Oh, what's this?
Right? That's a little cat toy. So I just pulled out some miscellaneous wood. There's going to be the base of my cat house. I'm not sure what we're doing here. I'm not very good at cutting angles. So I got this little tool over here, but I don't know how to use it. I don't even know what it's called. Do you see it? That thing right there. It cuts different angles, so I have to figure out how to use that.
And then, okay, people. So we're gonna make a cat house like this.
Mm-hmm. And so what do we got here? What's this?
A house. A cat house.
That's gonna be our cat house.
Like
That's
this
the big,
one.
yeah, like that one. Kind of like that one.
But it needs like this, 2 circles.
Yeah. So we're just trying to make do with what we have here, right? Because something is better than nothing, right?
And
So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, tell your story.
Okay, people. I figured out my plan.
What, this is part of your plan?
Yeah. See?
Mm-hmm. What kind of roof are you trying to make, though? That one, on an angle.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Andre that, take off the wood for a minute. That would make a great little squirrel hut. Eh? After this cat house, we'll make a squirrel hut. What do you think? I think we should make something for the squirrels.
Like what?
Well, with all those
acorns in it.
We can put acorns in it. Blue jays will probably visit it.
No, I don't think blue jays like squirrels.
No, but they like where they can get into things and move
Like
around
even acorns?
because they're quite a big bird, right?
Do they like acorns?
No, but we can put in bird seed.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not no carpenter, right? I'm just trying to piece this together. I wish I had these little V things. This was just some scrap piece of wood I had kicking around the yard. I'll look around for some more because it helped me, right? I did manage to get an inside piece that I can fit in there. It was gonna be like that. You can see. So I guess before we put the roof on, we start putting the carpet on. Okay, I'm not sure how they did that. I'm thinking they must have used some kind of glue or something. It can't be just stapled on, right? But I'm not gonna use glue. Anyway, now I'm gonna take this. I'm not even sure what I'm doing here. I figure I'll just cut a seam or something and flip it over and put it in and then try and seam it out. I don't like making cat boxes. They're kind of difficult. Okay, people. Today is what? September 14th, 2016. I was doing these things until like 4:30 in the morning. Anyway, I'm finishing up what I didn't finish last night. You can see Andre and I went back to the trees. This is what we found today, another half a bag. So the next time I go, I'm taking 2 big black garbage bags with me, and I'm cleaning up and getting 1 more bag of walnuts, and that's pretty much it. And then after that, we're going to go get a few rocks later on for the pond, right? Because I'm still going to work on that. So anyway, Andre found 3 more black walnuts. So I'm going to dehydrate these ones. Actually, there's 4 in there. There's a very, very small, oh wait, 4 or 5. There might be even 5 in there because there's a very small one in there. Right, there's like really, really tiny, and it wasn't where it was supposed to be, so I don't know how it got over there. Oops, sorry, wandering eye. I'm trying to find it, but anyway, so I'm going to do those. Obviously, I'm going to dehydrate the walnut rusk because it's very rare. Right, in this case, I would just use it for paint. I'm not going to boil it. I'm just going to dry it like the last batch because we're doing the science experiment, right, between the 2 rinds to see which one gives off the better color after the fact of being just dehydrated, ground up, and then take a bit of the powder, put it on a pallet and a little bit of water, right? Andre! Turn that down for a minute, please. No, now! Wait. And here's another thing. This is my second time. Maura, I just want to tell this, okay? Turn it down. I'm not as tired. Okay? This is the second thing here. As I've been, like, you know, I do a lot of reading, right? And I've done black walnuts before. This is not the first time. So I have a little bit of experience with them. And I've come across a couple of myths, right, in terms of what people tell you on their YouTube channels. They say, I want to show you something here. This is why I filled up the set. Normally, I don't use this much water. Okay, normally I don't use this much water because I don't need this much water to clean them. I only use maybe about that much. And I use this and a little paring knife to get the groups. So based on, you come across a video and the guy says, oh yeah, go get your walnuts, but only keep the ones that are sinking. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 out of all of that sunk to the bottom of the water. So if you're doing walnuts for food purposes, I'm telling you, people, don't throw out the walnuts, because a half of those at least, if not more, are good. Where the myth is being distorted, and it's not a myth, if you wanted to start a walnut grove, the way you would do it would be to take those 9 walnuts. You either put them in the ground for the winter, because they have to go into a dormant stage for at least 3 to 4 months. Or you have the option of putting them in the fridge and leaving them there for 3 to 4 months before you plant them in the ground. And the reason you want the ones that sink to the bottom is because the meat inside is more mature. It's fuller. It's more to its time. That is not to say that these don't have meat in them, because they do. They just haven't come to the full, to be mature, right? And in order for a nut to grow, it's best for it to be mature, because then it has more meat to live off of, kind of like body fat, right? So that's one thing that you need to be aware of. Don't believe that you need to throw these away, because for what you get out of it and for what's going to go to waste, it's more economical, if you're going to eat this stuff, to go through each one and get the half that's good and throw away the half that's not good, versus throw it all away based on some video that you've seen that the guy said, or you misinterpreted the information. The information is, if it sinks to the bottom, those are the best seeds to plant. That doesn't necessarily mean that those nuts don't have food inside of them. Okay? Now, because for me, I'm using the shells for something else, even if the meat is inside bad, 50% of this is not going to matter to me, because I still get the benefit of the shell. Okay? That's just something I'm throwing in there. The other thing is, there's another video out there that talks about this black stuff being iodine, which is a bunch of crock. Because first of all, iodine is a mineral. It comes from the ground. It doesn't come from this kind of stuff, right? It's more like a zinc or like an iron or like a copper or something like that. That's the way I interpret an iodine, because it's just liquefied, right? But it can come in crystal form. And if it can come in crystal form, then that means it's a mineral. This, when the husk turns black, it means it's telling you that it's rotting. That's what it changes the smell. You know, this will change its smell. It won't smell fresh and green and like a lime, right? Something that you can clean with, or maybe even want to eat with the rice, kind of, you know, rice vinegar on it or something. People do strange things. Obviously, we know there's a little bit of toxicity in terms of, like, you know, it being a worm killer and antibacterial, so it's not something that you would want to consume other than maybe the nut inside, and use the outside properties for medicinal purposes, right? And in this case, you don't really want the rind rotten and black, and there's no iodine in it, so don't take that one with a grain of salt. And if you do want to use it for as a tooth remedy, because apparently I'm only basing it on this one because I don't know much about the English walnut in terms of properties and what their medicinal powers are. But in terms of this one here can actually regenerate calcium in the teeth. It's been said, now whether it's a wives' tale or not, I don't know. But it's been said that if you use this on teeth that have cavities, this will take away the cavities and repair the tooth. My problem is we're not dealing with cavities, people. We're dealing with freaking, what do you call these? Mercury fillings that have been in my mouth for like 45 years. You know what I mean? With root canals that have gone bad and fillings that weren't done right. You know, it's that pain spot, you know, as I'm being energy weaponized in my yard when I'm working in the yard, which I have videotape of, people. Okay? The energy bullet, you know, that going through the grass, and you know, the blue beam with the little creature jumping over, through the fence. So, you know, when you're working with that kind of stuff, then it would only be kind of standard that you'd have a pain spot, right? So in my, happens to be in my case, it happens to be in my teeth, right? That never gets rectified because the healthcare system is not set up to make people feel better. Technically, you know, at this point in life, it's more down just to the bare bones to say that, well, you get $1,000 worth of dental care every 2 years based on this disability form, right? But when you factor in that it doesn't include paying for specialists, you know, consultation fees, that's just to get into the door, and anything else that might come along. And if you're dealing with a specialist, it's going to be more than $1,000, people. Okay? And that's why my teeth don't get done, right? That's why John and I decided to pay the bills off first, so that when we did get into his teeth, my teeth, Tisha's teeth, Andre's teeth, which he hasn't seen a dentist yet, because he's not covered, people. Don't ask me why he's not covered, but he's not covered. So that's a lot of people falling through that healthcare system crack. So if you're not dealing with mercury fillings, bad root canals, bad fillings, and an inadequate healthcare system, and you come across one of these, and you want to have your teeth grow back in terms of getting rid of those freaking cavities and rebuilding the tooth, there's the wives' tale. Is there truth to it? I don't know. All I know is I'm using it as a pain remedy, as an antibacterial, kill that fucking root, you know, let the tooth die, let it fall out. I don't give a shit. But this pain spot, you know, 6 years, going on 7 years, I had it when I moved into this house. So anyway, no iodine in it. It's been told that it can regenerate teeth. Okay, so we're going into the 15th of September here. I had a nap, so, but it doesn't matter. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning now, right? So now we're going into the second stage here with these walnuts. I just washed the little batch that I got done today with Andre. We picked up today. So I'm going back one more time. I'm going to do it one more time after that. I'm not doing it anymore because I'm tired, people. right? There's walnuts in there too, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm sorting through them. I'm feeling them. Oops, sorry. Right? Because again, you want to just keep moving them around, right? These ones are cracking open, so they're going to go first. You can see they're nice inside. These ones are dry, but they're still kind of cold, so you know, you don't want them too cold, because even if the shell on the outside is dry, but in the inside it's too cold, cold makes moisture, moisture makes water, water brings mold. So just keep that in mind. Now, whether I throw these back in after I kind of go through them and just kind of warm them up a little bit again, just for a bit, just for that last little bit of drying stage, and then open them up, or whether I just keep them to the air and keep moving them around, I'm not sure yet. I just know that it's going to be time to start cracking these open, right? That's the black walnut. A couple more kicking around. As you can see, there's a big difference in the amount of fruit that the two trees produce, even though the black walnut is a larger tree. But walnuts will produce, if you wanted a walnut grove, they go in 2 to 5 year cycles. So in other words, every 5 years within the 2-year period, so it's a 3-year gap, a walnut tree will produce more fruit and go dormant for that 3-year period, where it will produce fruit, but it just won't produce as much fruit. But both times I've been to these walnut trees, I noticed it from the get-go. The black walnut does not produce as much as the English walnut, and you can see that, right? That's all English, 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 and then I've got 2 more trays yet to dry, because I just did them today. Okay? Now, I'm going to upload this after I'm done, because I want to keep this short, and I'm tired, and the screen's going to start flapping. And so here is the, this is just going to be dry ink. This is a science experiment, remember? It's peel that's been washed, cut, dehydrated, and then I'm going to grind it up, and I'm going to use that as powder ink, versus boiling it, taking the ink, and then using the pulp and drying it and using that as more ink. I'm keeping the concentration of the ink, the color, whatever you want to call it, in the rind itself. So what I'm curious to see is this one going to be darker than this one? Because we already know this one is different. I would think so, but we're not going to find out until I grind them up, put a little over here and a little over there, and a paintbrush, and mix them up and see what happens. So, because I have a son that likes to do art, I'm just making a little extra. I'm not cooking, I'm not making no more ink, no more dyes, no more paint, but I am definitely saving the better part of these rinds as I'm finding them, which is just one more sweep, and then we're done. So what I'm doing tonight now is I'm going through them all. As you can see, I brought them out, and I'm going to sort them into piles, right? Because it's time to move on with this stuff, eh? And get them ready to start cracking open. And then look at all my Swiss chard seeds. That's a lot of Swiss chard seeds. Swiss chard. So I think next year I'm just going to take these in the springtime and kind of do like my Chinese neighbors do next door with their produce. Because that's a lot. You could get a big patch of Swiss chard from that.